Well, because this is back 10 years ago, and the only people that drove those types of cars were either basketball players or superstars, am I right? And I was thinking he's neither, am I right? So I was like, what's going on here? I came down, sat inside, and I started judging everything. See, I learned something that night. Duke said, either you judge or you learn, you can't do both. So that's when I said, if I'm gonna be there, I might as well be there. And then what ended up happening was I started taking notes, and I saw what the company had to offer. As the company explained everything from industry, company, and product, that's when I said, why not give it a shot? I have absolutely nothing to lose, so I gave it a shot. I got started that night, and that night changed my life forever. From the ages of 18, 19 to 23, I was actually able to make a multiple six-figure income through this industry. What ended up happening was that company at 08, 09 would not change and adapt towards the economy. Certain things were not checking out, I guess you could say. Also, 4 of the top executives from that company left that company too as well. And I was thinking, there's something wrong here when these 4 guys are leaving, because they were the main bread and butter of the company. So what ended up happening was, several of us actually spoke to them, and they let us know what's going on, and they agreed with us on why we felt the company was not growing at the time. So I ended up leaving everything. I was actually, I guess you could say I had a hard time leaving, because I was very comfortable making very good money. I left everything to start over again here in RX. And I'll be honest, I was very scared and skeptical in the very beginning, but what made me, I guess, made it more simple was where Mark and Fred wanted to go with everything. So what ended up happening was I got started in this company 3 years ago, and 3 years later I'm considered one of the presidents of the company. I travel all throughout the United States, North America, from Canada to Mexico and everything in between to really develop the group in the area, okay? But enough of me, I'm gonna show you what I saw. Is that okay with you guys? Because when I first saw this, I didn't know what to expect. So what I'm gonna do is show you exactly what kind of sold me, I guess you could say. The first thing that I ask myself is, before I jump into any type of work, I always ask myself, what industry am I jumping in? Because there's many types of industries. But health to me was a very strong industry, because no matter what company or work you're in, everyone needs health, am I right? I'm sure if you worked at a restaurant and I was working at a restaurant and I sneezed on your food, would you be very happy with that? So you wouldn't come back anymore. So being healthy was something that everyone needed. That's when I said, okay, health is a very good industry. You have to find the right company. Just like cars, there's many types of cars, am I right? There's Ferrari and there's Honda. There's Honda, there's Hyundai, am I right? There's different types of cars. So I wanted to find the right car to drive or a company to work at. That's when I said, what is RX about? Because sometimes we view RX and say, RX is brand new. It's only 3 years old. How do we know it's going to be here for the long run? So is it okay if I show you guys some credibility behind the company? So to give you an idea, when I first saw this, RX in the first year, believe it or not, when I first saw this, there were only 4 or 5 products when I first got started here. And they didn't have all these awards. But 3 years later, these are all the awards they won in the first 3 years. And to me, that's such a big deal, because these are more awards than I ever won in my whole life. You see my point? I was thinking, this is really good. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of things. Here's the corporate office located in Bountiful, Utah, okay? So it's a fairly big office. So we're not hiding from anyone because that big sign's on the building, am I right? We're also in 13 different countries. I know we're in more because we keep opening up everywhere. But we're in 13 countries. Here are some of the corporate offices in each area, okay? Now, for some numbers. Our company struck profit in its first 3 months, hit 32 million its first year, 42 million its second year, and 74 million its third year. Now, how did they do that? They have a management that has over 100 years of combined experience. And to me, that's a big deal, because when I jump into something, I want to make sure the management know what they're doing. Now, let's break down those 100 years of experience. You have the 5 management. We have Fred Cooper, our CEO, 15 plus years in this year. You're going to see him later. So is he real? Yes, he is real. Okay? When I first saw him, the big thing that pointed out was his forehead. You know what I mean? It's really big. But it makes sense because he's really, really smart. You know what I mean? So if you get to see him later, and you should see him, you'll get an idea that this guy is no joke. I like him because he was in a previous company for 13 years and held 2 titles, COO and president of the previous company. So to me, it shows that he knows what he's doing. Then you have Mark Wilson, president of the company, 20 plus years. He was a director for Meluca from 29 to 300 million. And he was the EVP of sales for USANA Health Sciences from 24 to $500 million. So it shows growth. And I like that because the management know what they're doing. Last thing I don't want to do is have a person running the company where beforehand he ran an underwear company, am I right? I like this because he has a ton of experience. Now, we have, of course, Jeff Yates, our CFO. Very important because he's financials. We like to get paid. I'm assuming we like to get paid, yes or no? So he has a very important job, am I right? Now, he was the senior accountant for Price Waterhouse, Franklin Covey Stores, Desert Book Company. So he was a CFO for very big companies. And that gives me even more confidence. Then we have Riley Tim, our CEO, he's in charge of operations. So he's the one making sure all the operations are going well. Now, the most important person in this company, in my opinion, is Dean L.Ac. Why is that the case? Because when you're a consumer or a customer, you don't really care for the company, you care about the product. If the product's good, then we're good, am I right? For say, example, Lotus, I don't know what they're doing, but I like my car. Do you see my point? So the car is what sold me, the product is what sold me. So Dean L.Ac, what's so special about her? Well, she has 17 plus years of experience, and we need a whole page just for her. Does that make sense? Now, she's been in health for 17 plus years. Before RX, she was a consultant and a speaker on behalf of NFL, Fox, Xerox, AT&T, over 800 college universities, and was an NCAA Grand Prix speaker. So that's pretty cool because these people care about the health, and if they go through her for health, it makes me think it's good enough for me, am I right? Yeah. Now, if you want to read more about her, you can read more about her later, but the cool thing about her is that, what's her job here in RX? Her job in RX is to maintain the quality of the products. So what happens is there's two parts to a product, am I right? There's ingredients, then there's manufacturing. So RX, what they do is, what Deanna Lassen did, she set two standards. The first standard is for the ingredients. The reason why is because we get our ingredients from all around the world. We might get our fish from another country. You see how it works? We might get our grapeseed extract from Italy. So how do we maintain the quality? So we make sure it's BSCG certified, USP, some of our products US EPA certified, also GMO free. Now, once we get the ingredients, we bring them here in the United States and we manufacture them here because we can oversee the manufacturing. Manufacturing has to be NSF approved, GMP, FDA, and OTC approved. So our products go through an extensive, I guess you could say, safety precautions before they're released into market. It gives me confidence because if I have business in, let's say, 2 different countries, 3 different countries, 13 different countries, it gives me confidence that the product will work and it does what it's supposed to do. Now, what sets RX apart though, the true difference is how we get our other products. Because we believe there are products out there that are very strong, very good. But the thing is, we have to make sure, number one, they're scientifically proven to be effective, and number 2, patent or double patent. So RX does, they find these products and they create a partnership, and they bring the product on board. The reason why we do this is because scientists sometimes have a hard time talking. Can we agree? Have you ever talked to a scientist before? They don't really talk, you know what I mean? They talk with a certain tone of voice, am I right? I think clear-eyed guys, you know what I'm talking about? The clear-eyed guys that talk in a certain tone, but for me, the dilemma is that. So what happens is the scientists have a hard time trusting people. And so what they do is they trust Dean L.Ac. And Dean L.Ac trusts RX. And that's what creates a unique product line. Why do I like RX? Because RX, people say, what is RX known for? It's hard to say. Because the way RX brands itself is very different. Have you ever heard of Volkswagen before? Volkswagen, yes? Volkswagen is known for the Beetle, yes. The Beetle, the Passat, the Jetta, am I right? But did you know Volkswagen also owns Bentley, Lamborghini, Audi, and the Bugatti Veyron? Okay? Bugatti Veyron is a $2.7 million car. When you buy that car, you're not expecting to see a Volkswagen symbol inside, am I right? Same thing goes for RX. RX is the parent company, but we brand our stuff completely different. Like Nutrify, which is our first line. Why is this the case? Because 70% of Americans take supplements today. Because they realize that, number one, our food is not the same anymore. When you have to go buy whole food versus regular food, it makes you think, doesn't it? For say, for example, I think tomatoes should be whole foods all the time, am I right? But it makes you wonder what they put inside. The second reason why is because our environment is more polluted than it's ever been. And so what happens is when the average person looks for a supplement, they go to your Walmart, your Target, your GNCs, am I right? And what they do is they go for the cheapest one. But you get what you pay for, can we agree? Now, what's the difference between, let's say, an optimal product and a recommended dietary allowance product? Is this. RDA, just to use vitamin C, because vitamin C we need, all right? Can we agree? Yes. Vitamin C milligrams, RDA in some of the store brands you might see is only 60. What our body needs today is over 2,000. So it's a clear difference. Now people say, those are numbers. I don't understand that. Let me show you an experiment. Have you noticed we have many products here? I'm not going to go over every single product because we'll be here for a long time, okay? If you want to know more about this, talk to someone here that brought you to inform you about some of the other products. Let's go over our first vitamin and mineral, okay? Which is our vitamins and minerals. Let's go down all the way. We did something called an apple test. We took 6 jars, we put water inside. We took apple halves. Why apple halves? Have you ever left an apple out before? Yeah. It turns brown, it oxidizes, am I right? A vitamin is known as an antioxidant to prevent oxidation. I understood that because it was like a wrench on a car, you know what I mean? It's just turned and it was good, right? Now, you have Centrum, Kirkland, and Wonder because I'm sure everyone here knows at least one person that uses one of those products, am I right? Those are the big three. So if we can be better than the big three, we'll be okay. The one on the far left is another premium product. Now, to give you an example of what happened, we threw the vitamins inside, we left it for 48 hours. The results speak for itself. Check it out, okay? If you notice, the three in the middle turned burnt toast. Wow. I don't know about you, but would you want your body to look like the middle? I wouldn't think so. Check this out. The one on the right, the water, did better than the vitamin. It makes you wonder what they put in the stuff, can we agree? And I love this experiment because anyone here can do it and get the same exact results. You notice our product did extremely well, but here's the cool thing. Our product is around 40 to 50% cheaper than its competitors, which I love. Because in this day and age, people sometimes care about the money more, can we agree? That's just our main vitamin. Keep in mind, we're also in the PDR, the Physician's Desk Reference. So you know if any doctors or chiropractors, when they see this book, they go, the product is legit, all right? Now, go back to the main page, Nico, if you can. Again, if you notice the way we brand our products, it's Nutrify. Because when someone buys Nutrify, they want to buy supplements. But let me go on to our second line, which is completely different. It's extremely revolutionary. You've never heard this before. I can guarantee when you see this, you can be like, I should have thought about this. You ready, guys? Yeah. You guys sure? Yeah. It's called a water bottle. You didn't? Okay. So what's so special about this water bottle? This water bottle can filter almost everything and anything. It filters 99.99999% of contaminants in water. Are you sure, Vern? You can put orange juice to come out water. But let me show you something that is kind of extreme. If you ate before this, I'm sorry. But you guys ready to watch this or what? Yeah! This is something that you would never drink, or I hope you never drink.
I have here a bottle of my urine. Okay, Evelyn, 你闻一下 verify. It's still warm.
Yes.
Yes. You know what? Not one, Evelyn. You smell it? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and pour it into the RX water bottle. Hold on. Open. Let's open it. Let's pour it in. Okay. Then be careful. All right, Evelyn. Make sure you pour it all in. Okay. All right. Good. Pour it all in.
还有你才把那个尿尿倒到这个杯子里去了。
Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rinse this out. Let's see. Okay, now here's the ultimate test for the purity water bottle. It's my urine. Okay? Let me squeeze it out. Okay? 你下来一下 okay? I want everyone to have a clear look. Okay? Let me squeeze it. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna squeeze it out. Look at that. It's actually coming out.
哎，被你挡住了。
It's coming out clear. Wow. It turned my urine. Look at that. It's clear actually.
Oh yeah.
You see that? It's clear and then here's my urine again. Okay? Just so you know I'm not Ebony, let me just show you. Alright. You see the urine? That's my urine right there. It's yellow.
Yeah.
Okay? Now here's the ultimate test. I'm gonna drink it actually. It's actually not too bad. It's not even salty, I would say. No, not very salty. No.
So, the point of that video is not to go to lunch today, and the waiter goes, what do you want to drink? You go, nothing, because I make my own. That's not the point. The point of the video is to show you filters everything, okay? If you go on YouTube, you see countless videos. Now, can I ask you, was that professional at all or no? No. That was a custom, and that's what I love. You have customers that are going out there and creating these videos themselves. Now, how good is it? It's so good, the Navy SEALs take it wherever they go. So I think if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for me, am I right? Now, if you want to know how it breaks down later, someone here can go through this later and show you exactly how it breaks down the contaminants as the water goes through the filter. Now, what does it filter? Here are some filter facts for you. It filters bacteria, viruses, parasites, microorganisms the naked eye cannot see, okay? But the question now is, how much water do you get from one filter? You get 50 to 100 gallons of water through one filter. It breaks down the cost to around 7 cents per bottle of water versus $1.17. I don't know about you, but I'd rather save money and spend more money. Can you agree? Yeah. So if you notice, our product is extremely exclusive, very good, but also inexpensive, which is what I like. Because so many companies have very good products, but very expensive pricing. Can we agree? Yes. I love this product because it's inexpensive. But that's our second line. Our third line now is our probably perhaps more I guess, famous line, which I like personally. It's called our Slenderized line. Now, it's called a rapid fat loss system. Why? Because there's so many weight loss systems in the market today. So what does this specifically do? It targets the bad fat, which is our normal fat, and toxins in the colon area, okay? It keeps the good weight, which is the muscle, the water weight, the food weight, the structural fat, which is what you want to keep them, right? Right. So are you sure this works? Well, there's a guy named Bruno Puz. He lost 67 I lost 67 pounds in 60 days. I didn't work out a single day in those pictures. The reason why is because I want to show exactly what the product would do itself. Today, my goals are very different today. Today, my goal is I lift 2-3 times a day today, and just to give you an idea, I use the product again. And in 2 weeks, I lost 12 pounds of fat, gained 5 pounds of muscle, and around 6% body fat. So the product, I like the product because it pertains to each person's body. Now, let's say you can't physically work out because you can't. Lisa Cummings, 48, 7.5 months, 101 pounds lost. For average weight loss, we have people here too as well. John Sedaris and Krista Lilly. I'm sure you guys saw Krista Lilly at the table outside, am I right? That is her. Now, scrolling further, you see someone named Jason Lau. He's in the room, he's right there, and he's going to demonstrate for us today by taking his shirt off today. Actually, no, I think the next person's even better. Check this out. Let's do. That's the person I met back in the day. 10 years ago, he did not look like any of these pictures. You see how it works? But he's changed so much. But you ask, how is someone able to do this? And these are just 6 of the thousands of stories you can find everywhere. There's so many people. How many people here have used the product? How many people use the product? How much weight you lost, Steve? 25 pounds. How about you? 13. 13! I can't go around everyone, man. How much?
7 pounds 6 days.
7 pounds 6 days. Who else lost weight? Who else? Anthony.
43 and 48.
43 and 48. Oh my God.
22 pounds in 3 weeks.
22 pounds in 3 weeks. That's a pound a day. Oh my gosh. Who else used it? What?
I lost 20 pounds under 3 weeks.
20 pounds under 3 weeks.
24.8 pounds in 40 days.
24.8 pounds in
40 days.
Dang, you're getting down to the 0.8, you know what I mean? If you notice, I'm not gonna, if we go through this, I'll be here for hours. And you know what's cool? Everyone lost weight. And you know what? Everyone lost different types of weight. But you know what's cool? It goes according to your body, which I love. It makes it so different. If you go to any store, you can't find this product anymore. And that's what I love. Now, keep on going, of course. Lose fat at your pace. Now, it's also approved by the HPUS, which is the Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia United States, which guarantees it's all natural. Keep on going, of course. Key active ingredients, we have our drops, literally just drops. And that's what I love. It's simple to use. It's not hard to use. You ever been to the gym before? You'll see tons and tons of weights, am I right? You're like, well, what do I do first, am I right? And that's what I love about this. It makes it simple. It's not very hard to mess this one up, am I right? Now, some proven results. People taking our drops lost 50% more than those diet alone. On average, women lost half a pound a day. On average, men lost 2/3 a pound a day. Now, check this out. Compared to a competition, Slenderized, Jenny Craig, Atkins, and Weight Watchers, 18 months, 12 months, or 30 days. What would you rather do? Take 30 days or a year and a half? 30 days. If you notice, just one of our brands are compared to some big companies that you've heard of before. Just one of our brands. Now, cost-wise, as low as $7 per pound loss versus $174. So it saves you a ton of money as well. It's exclusive and double patented by us as well. Now, on to our next product real quick, which is Pure Nourish. Cool thing about this, it's all natural, it's gluten-free, dairy-free, soy-free, GMO-free, no fish flavors or colors. Also, too, as well, vegan-friendly proteins from peas and cranberries. Keep on going. Vitamin fiber, our natural sweeteners are xylitol, swerve, and low hongo. Then we have, of course, the vitamin I mentioned, probiotic, digestive enzymes. The point is, you see there's a lot of stuff in this? Yeah. You've seen people take things and add things into their shakes, am I right? Yeah. Cool thing about this, it's convenient because it's all in one and you just put it in, you drink. Cost-wise, as low as $2.14 per shake versus the competition, a lot cheaper too as well. I feel, why do I want some more muscle mass, Vern? Well, we have something called chocolate power boost. Now, if you want to know more about this, ask your resident buff people here and they'll answer your questions for you, okay? People like Jason Wow, Tade, you can ask these guys, they'll say, it works, trust me, yes. You just go to Instagram or Facebook and you see their packs, you go, okay, it works, you know what I mean? So, Beauty Boost I'm currently using because I'm, trying to get more beautiful right now, okay? So, I think it's working because I'm glowing more, I think, okay? But if you want to know more about these products, talk to someone here and they'll break down each product for you, okay? Our last one I'm also using as well because I'm trying to get more beautiful, like I mentioned. It's called Revive. How many people take showers? You guys take showers? Okay, I hope so. Now, see, I'll be honest, I'm not going to go too much into this one, but one thing I'll say is this. I didn't understand the value of this. I was talking to Duke, and I go, Duke, why does it matter so much to be all natural? And Duke gave me an analogy. He said, it's like smoke. Let's say you smoke once a year, it won't be that bad, am I right? Let's say you smoke every day for a year, it's going to be worse. Can we agree? Yeah. So could you imagine showering once a year? No, don't do that, okay? But could you imagine, scroll down if you can? I went to a Walmart and I found this shampoo everyone knows. I didn't know because I'm a dude. I'm just a guy. I will take a sofa bar and just go like that. See how it works? The shampoo, whatever's in the bathroom, I'll use. I don't care. My sisters, I'll use it. You know what I mean? I don't care. That's the type of guy I am because I didn't understand this. And so Duke said, could you imagine all these ingredients right here that we don't know of, click next. All this stuff we don't know, click one more time. All this stuff right here. Could you imagine doing it over and over and over again for years? What it can do. Then I said, makes sense. That's when I said, I'm gonna shower with it now. You see my point? I have showered with this, I've never gone back. You see my point? A cool test I've learned is you scratch your skin right out of the shower, you'll see white residue, right? People think it's dry skin. It's actually not dry skin. That's actually leftover stuff from your shampoo and stuff like that. This product, extremely healthy. It's really good. It has no warning labels on it. The toothpaste as well, all natural, no fluoride. If you want to know more about it, talk to Dr. Marvin, right? I told him to say that. I said, talk to Dr. Marvin. He knows more about it. He can talk to you on days for teeth, am I right? But that's our industry, our company, and our product. I wanted to run through it very quickly, okay? The reason why is because I wanted to bring it to the next person today. Now, the thing for me is that I want to give you a brief overview of the company. Last thing I want to do is spend hours talking about the products, am I right? So one thing I suggest, if you have questions about certain products, jot it down. And then talk to someone here and they'll go more in depth about each product. Because each product, you can go over every single product and spend an hour at least on each product. That's how good it is. I had a person named Christina come up to me the other day, and she's doing a meeting. And she said, I love Pure Nourish. And it's a brand new person. Her first day, she went through Pure Nourish and read every single ingredient. Because she said, I don't know if it's that good. She went through every single ingredient. She goes, Vern, oh my gosh, everything is good. And I go, I know. You see my point? She probably knows more about the ingredients than I do, but I have confidence in Deanna and the management team that they know what they're doing. But without further ado, that's the industry, the company, and the product. Now I'm sure a lot of people say, well, how do we make the money? Can we agree? Yeah. I have the privilege of bringing up a close friend, business partner that I've known for 10 plus years. And I've known this guy. He was the person I saw speak 10 years ago. When I saw him speak at 23, I was like, I don't know. Because this young Asian kid driving that car, dude, he's young and he's Asian. He's not a superstar, you know what I mean? I was like, what's going on here? And I didn't know what to expect. And who would have known that day would have changed my life forever? 10 years later, he's helped me go from Walmart, the big Vern, 250-pound Vern Walmart, to where I am today as president of the company. I think if he can help me, he can help anyone, I'll be honest. This guy's a self-made 7-figure income earner. He has a house that's big, it's huge. Like, it's so big you get lost in it. Like, I've been there and I'll get lost. Like, we have his little daughter, Sophia, and she'll run around and we'll have to look for her. Like, literally run through the house and look for her. We can literally probably run a mile through his house, just running around the house. That's how big it is. His house is so big, he didn't have to rent a house for the daughter's castle birthday party. His house was the castle. See my point? The guy had so many cars in his past. He goes, Vern, I'm going down to my cars a little bit. I only have 3. A Ferrari, an Audi, and a Bentley. I'm like, wow, that's it? Wow, okay. As you can tell from me, I look up to this guy a lot. He's helped me go through thick and thin. Literally, does that make sense? And But in school, he stuck it with me. He stuck it with me regardless of the fact of what I went through. So without further ado, can you please help me welcome founder of the company, level 3 chairman, and a personal friend, business partner, Mr. Duke Tupton.
It's very crowded here. I know this question is already asked, but how's everyone doing this morning? Awesome. Now, did Vern do a great job? Yes! Let's give Vern a round of applause. Believe it or not, I don't even remember the last time I saw Vern present. When I was watching him, I go, man, he actually got jokes. You know what I mean? They're pretty good. Thick and thin, I liked that one. That was fun. You know, so I know we have so many people here right now, and we have people basically all throughout California has converged here. And as you can see, we have the camera there. We have people from abroad watching through the web as well. So, I mean, this is a very, very crowded room. So, again, welcome everyone for coming. And one question I might as well ask too is how many people here are meeting me for the first time? This is the first time you're meeting me. And my goal is not to take up too much of everyone's time because we have like a full day scheduled with amazing things. I'm sure a lot of you are like, wait, we want to see the president and the CEO later, you know, who's this guy, right? So one thing that we're doing, as you can see, is we are actually presenting our opportunity right now. Because we know there are a lot of people here today that are seeing this for the first time. Okay, so I know one thing I should do before I really get into things, I get the fun part today. Vern talks about, of course, the product and everything, which is awesome. I get to talk about the money side. So some people go, yes, that's the good part right there, you know? So I'll go ahead and give a brief background on myself, so I'm not a complete stranger. As Vern mentioned, my name is Duke Tupton. A lot of teammates are happy to hear me present. Believe it or not, this is the third time this year I'm presenting. Okay, the third time. And I'm going to explain the reasoning behind this later on. There's reasons why I give these numbers, okay? And again, for me, coming here right now, I'll tell you, I've been involved in this industry for around 18 plus years. I'm 34 years old, okay? All the younger people are like, that's nice, you know? Right? And as I said, I've been involved for quite some time. I got involved in this industry. I know a lot of people when they view this industry, many times it's because of the health aspect. Let's say it's a product that they've been using, they go, wow, this is awesome. And through their results, people get curious and ask questions. And then there's some that are more opportunity driven. For me, I was looking for opportunity. How many of us here know people that are looking for opportunity? 70% of people are not content with their income. So that means around 70% of people are probably looking for opportunities. I was looking for opportunity. Now sometimes I get this way back in the day, even today, sometimes they look at me and meeting me for the first time, they go, man, it must feel nice to have rich parents. And for me, I did not come from a well-to-do family. Okay, again, long story really short, my father was an engineer, my mother was a nurse, okay? Today they're both retired. But my father, he retired early, not because he wanted to. My father, what happened was in my 6th grade year, he had a pretty serious stroke. Some of us here were actually at our baby's, she's not a baby anymore, but her first birthday was actually last week. And I think a lot of people that were there saw my father. And they hear the story, they see my father, they go, wow, like the story connects. And from there, my father with his stroke, half his body was paralyzed. So he couldn't walk anymore, he was disabled. Now, back in the 80s and 90s, when you have an engineering job and a nursing job combined, that's pretty good money. Pretty good money. That's more than a 6-figure income, and that's when gasoline was around $1. People are like, for real, was $1? That actually existed, right? So, as I said, it was good money. And my parents, I guess you could say I was semi-spoiled. I was the type of kid, if I couldn't get the toy that Saturday at Toys R Us, I'd probably get it next Saturday. But after my father had his stroke, it was our whole lives turned upside down. That was not the case anymore. Instead of just getting toys and hanging out, I would have to come home from school and take care of my father. Right? Getting into middle school and high school, those are the years that you see the world. You know what I mean? You venture off. I had to go home. Okay? I had to do the laundry for my father. I had to cook for my father, clean for my father. See, back then, now how many of us here have heard the term homeboy? Yeah. Homeboy, right? That's my homeboy. That's my homegirl, right? That's a very positive term today. Okay? Back then, no. People don't realize the original term homeboy. It meant that you always stayed at home. That's why you were called a homeboy. My friends would call me a homeboy. When people go, that's a homeboy, it still kind of makes me cringe a little bit. Does that make sense? Because that's what my friends would say. And so anyways, this is what happened, okay? So my parents told me, they said, son, you know, as you're doing all this, we ask you to do one major thing, which is do well in school. How many of us here have parents that are like that? Do well in school, right? And so for me, I was doing the best I could in school. I tell people, in my senior year, I was a 4.2 GPA, okay? Sounds really good, but in the classes that I loved, I did good. The classes that I didn't like, it was hard. Does that make sense? It was terrible. So you make really good friends. You make friends that are smarter than you, and you give them a hot pocket, they give you homework. Does that make sense? So that's trading. I guess you could say I was learning business at a young age. Okay, so I was trading. And so anyways, in my senior year, that is of course the year you decide what college to go to. I went through multiple surgeries on my jaw, okay? I went to the dentist one day and they go, hey, something's up. They said, one of your baby teeth never came out, okay? What it did, that one baby tooth pushed my permanent tooth into my jaw, all the way in. They took x-rays, they saw that, it was literally lodged in, it was wedged in. And I went through multiple surgeries to correct that. They had to modify braces, okay, to uproot that tooth. It took I had braces for 7 years. And I got them on my senior year. That is the worst year. You're supposed to get them off by then. I had to change my smile. I mean, so many things was going on that year. And again, when that all happened, the insurance companies didn't want to cover it. Because with the braces, they said, oh, that's all cosmetic, which it wasn't. My parents just didn't know how to fight it. So knowing what I know today, I know we could have done something and they would have covered it. But my parents used all the college funding that they were saving up for me for so many years to pay for all those surgeries. On my senior year, my parents said, son, we thought we had everything figured out, but we don't know what to do. So I told my parents, you know what? My parents had good intent. So I said, let me just go and see what I can do. Let me go find a job. How many of us here would help your parents if they're not doing well? Of course. Of course. I started looking for work, and I couldn't find a job. I mean, I filled out job applications all over the place, just no one was calling back, and I was getting desperate. And finally, I came across one of these, right? Right? If you ever seen one of these, people call it, oh, it's one of those things. Does that make sense? When I saw it, there was around 12 people in the room, whiteboard and marker, that was it. Technology was not where it is today, okay? So whiteboard and marker. And when I saw all this, I go, this looks weird. What is this? Right away, I had everything crossed. I was looking at this thing. And the speaker that day was quite bold. Looked at me, looked at my name tag, he goes, Duke, what's wrong with you? I guess it didn't help that there was only 12 people in the room, you know what I mean? And he said, Duke, I can tell you're very negative. And Duke, just by looking at you, I can tell the type of income you make. And he said, Duke, you're broke. And I'm like, what in the hell? Like, whoa, you know what I mean? Right? And he hit me so hard with that statement. Usually I would say something back, right? But I was like in shock. And he said, Duke, the mind is directly proportional to the pocket. He said, Duke, if you're negative up here, good chance you could be negative down here. He asked me another question. He said, Duke, do you have negative friends? I said, yes, I do. He said, Duke, how well are most of them doing? He said a lot of things that day. The crazy thing is that I'm hearing it, I'm being skeptical, but I can't fight him on it. And I thought to myself, being around 18 years old, how can I not fight him on any of these statements? Another thing that he said that struck me was usual way, usual pay. I thought about everyone that I knew. I thought about everyone that I respected. I thought about a lot of my elders that I respected, and I thought it was true. One thing that they complained about, even though they were making a lot of money, was the lack of time. And I said to myself, when it was all done, I said, you know what do I have to lose? Because I have nothing to lose. I came on board, started working with them. Be honest with you all, I didn't do very well in the very beginning. I only made a couple $100 in the first 6 months. Now some people say, Duke, why didn't you just move on? I'll tell you, I didn't have opportunity. I said, you know what? Let me just figure this thing out. You know what I thought? If these people were able to do well, the people that presented that day were making 5 figures a month. And I said to myself, if they could do it, why can't I? All right? But I got frustrated. And I went up to them and I said, man, this crazy thing that you got me into, man, this thing don't work. You know, they said, Duke, no, you got it all wrong. They said, Duke, this thing works, you don't work. I'm like, man, these guys, you know, always, right? You know what they said? They said, Duke, this is what they said, Duke, you don't act good, you don't look good, you don't talk good, you don't dress good, you don't smell good. I was like, dang, 5-hit combo, you know, like Mortal Kombat right here, you know what I mean? Like, these guys are so good at, I mean, this is what, but this was the statement, okay? Through all that, this was the statement. They said, Duke, why would anybody want to work with you if they don't even want to be like you? From there, I guess you could say I started to learn differently. I trained differently, and my business started to take off. By the time I was around 19 years old, I was doing fairly well, okay? I was making much better. Usually we compare ourselves and how well we do based on our friends. And for me, back in my day, I said, you know what? I'm doing much better than my friends. I wasn't rich, does that make sense? But I wasn't poor, I was doing well. Again, I don't want to make a long story, but I went through a car accident, and that's when I learned the value of a dollar. Okay, my parents found that car accident as an excuse for me to not do this type of work. They kind of felt it was like socially embarrassing. And they got me out of this line of work for around 8 months. I took on my only job during that time, okay, and that was pizza delivery. Out in Lakewood, if you guys and gals know Lakewood, California. Delivered pizzas, that was my job for around 8 months. I had to fix my own car that I got into an accident with. I said, I don't know how to fix cars, I'm not a mechanic. My dad had a really good friend that was an auto mechanic. He said, you're gonna work with him until the car was fixed. They would work on my car every Saturday after lunch. It took over 6 months to fix that car. On top of that, that car was only $2,000. It cost $3,000 to fix. That's what you call a total loss. Like, why? You know what I mean? But yeah, that was a crazy time in my life because I had to work at that shop, all right? So basically work hours so they could fix my car. I did pizza delivery 30 to 40 hours a week. I was trying to take everyone's time, meaning that if one of my buddies at the shop wanted to go have fun, I go, I'll take your hours. I'll take your hours. And I was doing 12 to 16 units of college at Cerritos College. And it was tough. My body couldn't handle it anymore. My body started to collapse. And I would have this weird pain that would start from my shoulder. It would go right to my forehead. I would pass out. Third time it happened, I went to the hospital. They sent me to the ER room. They said, we don't know what's wrong with you. Had an MRI CAT scan done. I was there the whole day. And they just said, Duke, whatever you're doing, you got to stop. You're overworking yourself. And they're giving me stories of people, how they get heart attacks at a young age. I mean, it's crazy, crazy stories. These are stories that you think you hear when people are a lot older. They said, no, times are changing. Because of stress, because of making money. You know what they said? You need to stop what you're doing. This is when it changed for me. This is what I thought. I thought to myself, this expert, this technician, okay, is telling me this, and she must be telling other people that are much older than me, that have maybe 2 to 3 kids, the same thing, and they can't stop. They have to go to work. They have to make that money. And for me, this is what I always tell people. I came in as a certain type of person, I walked out a completely different type of person. My parents saw what happened at the hospital. They freaked out. They said, you know what, son, just look, you know, they kind of felt like they did that to me. And I told them they didn't. I said, I did it to myself. These were my decisions. And they said, son, do whatever you want to do. You know what I did? I got back in this line of work. And I did it with a different mentality. Very fortunate. This is not to boast, but I tell people it's all recorded. It's all out there. Okay, so I'm not making this stuff up, but I was very fortunate to break a 7-figure income by the age of 20 years old. By the age of 21, it was a multiple 7-figure income. You know what I tell people? Mainly it's attitude. It was mainly driven by attitude. Now some people say, Duke, why are you here today? Well, number one reason, the industry that I was in back then. We were selling dial-up internet. Exactly. People are like, yeah, people are laughing at me. You know, like, but it's like, people are like, what the hell is that? You know, dial-up internet, right? Now, Obviously, people don't use it anymore. Now it's about extreme high speeds. And so I was in the service industry for around 3 to 4 years. And this is what I realized in the service industry. It's crazy because there's always going to be a newer technology. I had thousands upon thousands, I don't know, 50, 60 plus thousand customers that I had. And you know what? All gone because there's better technology. And I was in that industry for around 3 years. And finally I thought to myself, you know what? Having time freedom in this line of work is like the magic unicorn. It's true. I really felt that way. I wanted to move on. I was thinking, you know, I'm going to get into real estate, I'm going to go somewhere else. At 23 years old, okay, I had a handful of people said, Duke, why don't we keep on doing this line of work? I was straight out with them. I said, you know what, like, it's a good industry, I support you in it, but I want to look into something else. And they said, why don't we go and find a good company? And my response back is, I don't think a good company exists. Again, I look at it like the magic unicorn. And you know, one of my teammates looked at me and said, Duke, it's kind of like dating. I said, where the hell are you going with this? You know, he said, if you had a bad date, you're not going to stop dating, would you? I said, I don't know, maybe what if I wanted to? You know, like... But I understood his point. And we started looking for a good company. And we stumbled across a company, and this is what sold me, that they sold a premium product. Okay? Not a product that was so out there where you're like, what is that? And you have to think to yourself if it's something that you want. It has to be a product that you say to yourself, I use stuff like that, but I didn't know it was that good. This is the thing about health. As we get older, we will sacrifice our wealth for health. And as we get older, since we only live once, okay, we would want quality products. Okay? That's what I personally believe. Let's say we have our dream car. You're not going to put cheap gasoline in it. We only have one body. Does that make sense? As we get older, we're really going to take care of it. So I knew there was a need for premium products. Worked in this company, okay, for around 7 years. Very fortunate, I was able to become a 7-figure earner there. The last year I was there, that company became, I was their number 25 income earner worldwide. And they were worth around $500 million. Okay, when I got in there 7 years prior, it was worth $200 million a year. I'm not saying it was because of me, it was because of a lot of key people that worked hard. This is the reason why I bring this up. It's year 2011 now, okay? I'm straight out, this is actually what happened. I was in my massage chair. Okay, my bad. And I get an email that 4 of the top executives leave the company. I'm in my massage chair. I'm like, the chair's not working anymore. You know, like, what in the world is going on? I just moved into my home. I just got married. We're about to start a family. And 4 of the top executives gone. My phone starts blowing up right after that. I have teammates saying, Duke, this is a big deal. I got the email, is this a big deal? I said, well, you know, if 4 of the top chefs of a restaurant leave, I don't know, is that a big deal or not? Right? So I of course went and spoke to them and I said, why did you leave, you know? I couldn't be calm about it, you know what I mean? And, but they told me their logic and reasoning. It made a lot of sense to me. This is what they said. You know what? We live in a day and age, especially in the US with the economy. It's always going back and forth how well this economy is doing. They said, Duke, you know what? There is a need for premium products, but not at a premium price. And I said to them, wait a second though, but these products are really, really good. And you're telling me that it could be cheaper? They go, yes. I said, how is that possible? Because I know good quality costs money. You know what they said? Do you know how much extra they charge on top? They said they felt it was not necessary. And that, I said, really? I didn't know that it was that much more expensive than cost. They said, we don't need to do that. Another thing they said too is that there should be a compensation that is rewarding the people. Rewarding for those that are new, people that are experienced, and people that are, let's say, want to get into leadership, want to make really big money. It needs to be a well-balanced compensation. And then from there they said, and you know what, we should have products, because this is what they said, there are many smart people out there. I know Vern brought this up. it's safe to say in this world, there are billions of people, really smart people out there. And I want to stress this. They're so afraid to share their $1 million idea. I would be if I studied for 10, 20 years and I have this one invention that will change the game, but I'm not a business guy. I wouldn't know who to trust because I'm like, I have this one idea, but I don't know how to get it out there. And since the founders have so much credibility, and with Deanna Latson, the good thing about Deanna Latson, she's connected all throughout. So when Deanna Latson came into the picture, she goes, I know all these key people. And because they trust Deanna Latson said, you can trust these founders. So we have unique products. I mean, that water bottle, it's crazy. It'll turn Coke into water. You know, our neighbors, I hope this is not boring. And I was talking to them because when we just moved in, they go, so what do you do? And I go, well, one product that we have is we have this water bottle, and it'll filter anything. They go, really? Yeah. And this was during, I believe, Thanksgiving, when we went to go meet them. I said, yes. I said, it will turn, because they were drinking wine, I said, it would actually turn that wine into water. And they go, why would you do that? You know? I was like, okay, that was a bad example. But they got my point, you know what I mean? And we have these products that are phenomenal, but you know what? We're the only ones that have access to it. I had a teammate freaking out saying, Duke, there's something like SlenderX at Costco. Really? I go do my homework. I go, dude, like, there is nothing in SlenderX in these products. If anything, they have some ingredients of accelerate in the product, but nothing with SlenderX in the product. You know why? Because we have the exclusive rights to that. Can I get one more hand? I saw this. This I thought was very powerful. How many people here have used SlenderX? Look at all these hands right here. This is just one product line. Now some people say, Duke, why is this important? If a product like that, with what it claims to do, does not work, why would you have a whole room full of people over the course of the past 2 years in this room right now? Right? People are getting results from these products. Anyways, you guys, yeah, I mean, you can give a applause. So let me run right through some of these things right here, because now you know why we're here in RX. And as I said, I got the fun part. I get to talk about the money, right? So let's go through the slides real quick, okay? Let's go through the slides. And right here, I want to share with you guys and gals this, again, real quick, 100 college graduates. This is the statistic that woke me up. This is the statistic. Back when I was 17, 18 years old, when they gave this statistic, I go, okay, whoa. Because I was totally sold on getting my degree and getting my dream job. How many of us here want to see what happens to 100 college graduates by the time they retire? Okay, this was done by the Census Bureau. All right, so this was done by a big-time bureau. Let's keep going. All right, 1% becomes wealthy. Wealth in the U.S. is considered a $2 million net worth. So wealthy, okay, 1%. From there, 4% are financially independent. That means they make $100,000 a year. I'm going to break down 100 grand real quick. You're in the highest tax bracket. You're going to be taxed around 48%. 48%. And then, of course, we got to deal with Obamacare and all that stuff. Basically, that's just more money that they're going to take. You know what I mean? So almost half of it is gone. Okay, now all this stuff is to talk to a CPA, see if this stuff is true. Okay, we break down what you have after taxes. This is what I tell people. You work 6 months for free. 6 months is free. The other 6 months is money. Okay? With $50,000, that's $4,000 a month. If we want to get a pretty decent house, $500,000 home could be around a $3,000 to $3,500 mortgage. And then from there, we want a decent car. Maybe, let's say, a Honda Accord, Toyota Camry, or an entry-level, let's say, luxury car. You're in the 500 range. Just with the house and car, that $4,000 a month is gone. That's why USA Today has done an article saying that you need more than $100,000. They're saying at least $130,000 just to feel okay in today's time. Okay, but anyways, $4,000 is gone right there just with a house and car, right? Imagine food, insurance, gas, and maintenance, right? House, car. How about having kids? People are like, no kids. You know what I mean? Right? We know people making $100,000, but we see that they're working hard. Okay? Let's move forward here. From there, 3% are still working. At that age, we're supposed to spend time with family. I don't know if you heard this, but the government was trying to push the age of retirement to 73.
Right.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second. Why are they doing that? They said, oh, because people are living longer. Wait, that sounds like a punishment. You know what I mean? Like, that should be a benefit. So you're going to raise the age of retirement because of that reason? But 3% are still working. From there, 29% passed away, which is very unfortunate. And from there, let's move forward, 63% are dead broke. Living paycheck to paycheck. Let's see some more statistics. Okay, there's 5%, 95%, but the average savings of a 50-year-old in the United States is $2,500.
Wow.
Let's put that in perspective, okay? 50 years old, the average person has one mortgage payment in their savings account. If they lose their job, just their mortgage alone will take that out. That's scary. 70% of Americans are living paycheck to paycheck. That's done by the Wall Street Journal, okay? So, this is what we have here, and one more thing I want to share, okay? Is that inflation is the big one. Now, I know this is a really big room. It's like all the way to the back, okay? If you're looking at a home from 1992 to 2012, that's a 20-year difference, 2 decades. It increased 123%. Toyota Corolla, okay, was around almost $11,000 back in the year 1992. 2012, $16,000. Things are getting more expensive. That's a 50% jump. Lamborghinis, just for kicks, 57% growth. Okay, but gasoline, 224%. Potatoes went up almost 200%. Okay, you see what I'm saying? The Big Mac, and we're a health company, but Big Mac went up 100%. And then, how about Cal State University? How about UC schools? Cal State University, 500%. UC, 626%. There's something wrong with the math there. Okay, one more thing we want to show. Some people say, why is this relevant? So you guys and gals got all those numbers, right? This is why. Because all that right there, and that's, we buy a lot more than that, The stuff we buy on a monthly basis is a pretty big list. Let's show the income that we're supposed to have to purchase all that. An associate's degree, okay, check this out. The increase over 2 decades, 22%. A bachelor's degree, 32%. A master's degree is 31%. I don't know what the hell happened there. But still, it's still a jump. But if you see all that, wait a second. A 30% jump in income over 2 decades versus everything going up at least 50%. That's why people have, how many of us here know people have 2 jobs? 3 jobs. Jobs are cool, but let me tell you what they're cool for. Jobs are cool as you're needing to buy time for your $1 million idea. But not to retire off. So, with that being said, if you saw in the past slide, there was a 5% and a 95%. 5% of people are wealthy and financially independent. How many of us here wouldn't mind being a part of the 5% if you are not already part of the 5%? People like that, man, 1%. This is what my mentors have taught me. If you do what they do, you'll make what they make.